Hello and welcome to podcast 13. Today we talk about human relationships with roller coasters from a psychology perspective. Wow, isn't that intense? Here we go with a follow-up to our recent podcast. So let's begin with this. Fear to us all is a basic human emotion, but not only emotion, it's also a function. We all have four basic emotions, those being happiness, sadness, fear, and anger. Emotions can affect thought and judgment. Fear is no exception. In most situations, fear is manageable. We are born to survive, and all of us have the instinct to develop coping mechanisms in the presence of fear. Depending on the specific basis, our brains can learn to cope. Importantly, we need to realize it's impossible, though, to eradicate fear. It's an emotion that we can all experience at any time. In addition to that, we always develop coping mechanisms to deal with that fear. So if you've ever felt a bit scared to do a coaster, did you find a way to deal with your fear? What effects can it have on us? Well, to name just a few, it can affect the way we feel. Notably, it can also affect the way we appear to others. Fear is an emotion that can be experienced by any person. It does not matter what height, weight, race, or religion someone is, we can all experience extremes of fear. This emotion is somewhat a challenging one. But what do I mean by that? Fear causes obstruction to your goals. This emotion is triggered when the threat of harm becomes present. A threat can be a physical presence, an emotional or psychological presence, whether that be real or manifested. Most people judge fear as a negative emotion, but fear has a true function. It stimulates us to cope with potential danger. For example, if you are in the line of fire, the fire may cause you to have fear. The fear then prompts you to get away and save yourself. The range of fear starts from trepidation and escalates up to the top, which is labelled as terrified. So here we go with further association of fear with coasters. Trepidation means to feel fear of something that may happen. We can be fearful of potentially riding a coaster, but this trepidation could escalate depending on the way we handle it. Also, depending on outside influences. I just want to clarify something quickly. Anxiety is a type of fear. Anxiety is also worse than trepidation, but anxiety cannot be coaster-based. Anxiety is objectless, but it can escalate to higher levels of fear. A higher level of fear being dread. If you started dreading something, it's more difficult to manage. So if you feel dread towards a particular coaster, it could be time to space yourself away from it. Take a break from any knowledge of it. The reason for this is that fear can become worse. It can become desperation, panic, horror, or even that word we mentioned earlier, terror. The setting of a busy theme park may even resonate this. Under no circumstances is this wanted. Be careful and try and take away the triggers of your fear. Think about what it is specifically triggering you. Fear of height, speed, inversions, flying, or even objects. Be considerate of yourself. As a species, ours being human beings, we react to fear in three common ways. Knowing these can help you recognize fear. We can freeze, we can choose a mechanism called flight, or we can fight. So, is it a contradiction to flight away from a coaster or to stay and fight for fun? Words need not be mixed here. You can fight your cause and get onto that flying coaster. To be fair, Fear may even stimulate you to produce the adrenaline that you need to get on that coaster. Understanding fear is a basis of managing and conquering it. So flight means to escape. If you understand a lion is about to attack, you manage your fear by flight. Your brain will guide you to what is most suitable. Trust your instincts. You will develop courage at your own manageable speed. However, being on a roller coaster can seem a bit of a paradox. You can be climbing a lift hill, feeling a bit scared about the huge drop that you are about to encounter. You start to drop feeling scared of the height, but the wind, G-force, the speed and the safety of your harness transfers the energy of fear into fun and excitement. Because this fear is not of nature of survival, it's fear of a controlled environment. The transfer of energy from fear to fun can be called euphoria. So, we can distinguish manageable fear that can be transferred into fun. A coaster is there for a number of reasons, which can be defined by location, layout, mechanisms, etc. For the extreme coasters, they are there to test your boundaries. I hope that helps. That's all for today. See you soon.